You may have seen this article, why this undergraduate age 25 has actually bought a condo as his first property. The guy being featured is also a financial advisor, so I have to be extra sensitive. I work in the same industry, and I think it's also important to practice some level of basic respect. And in a lot of ways, I see similarities between him and my younger self, where I was a lot more ambitious and aggressive. At the same time, I hope to give some advice to people listening in, like you, and as well as new advisors in my industry. So in today's discussion, we'll be touching on numbers. What exactly are the figures relating to this property purchase? It's actually reviewed also what this property is. So I've actually prepared materials to bring you on a house tour. Next segment is regarding condo versus HDB. So if this case intrigues you, continue watching on. Through HDB stories, Mr. Daniel Heng, who is also a financial advisor, shared why and how he did it. Straight off, this is a story of a condo purchase, so I'm also not too sure why is it through HDB stories. But let's read on and discover what are some key details. When it comes to purchasing a first home, it's common to buy a HDB flat either through balloting, BTO unit, or buying one off the resale market. Eschewing the usual first property route, University undergraduate Daniel Heng, age 25, recently put down a hefty deposit of 1.27 million on a condominium unit. This is the quantum size of what he's purchased. But take note again, he's an undergraduate. That is a remarkable achievement. When I was an undergraduate myself, I was already starting in the financial services industry. I actually promised myself to buy my first car before I graduate. I did that, but car is a quantum purchase of 50 to 100,000 back then. So this is a 1.27 million investment. So let's read on to what are his whys. This low-rise condo is located in the central region and is slated for completion in 2027 only. It's actually reviewed the name of this condo, so continue listening in. Mr. Daniel Heng actually bought this home with some help from his mother. She loaned him $100,000 for the down payment of $354,000, of which he has intention to repay her with interest. As a working university student majoring in accounting and business, he earns over $20,000 per month, providing financial services to high net worth clients. So how does $354,000 come about? Let me share with you also. When you make a private property purchase, the down payment is 25%. So 25% of 1.27 million, that works out to be $317,500. Then the other portion is stamp duties. This is a stamp duty figure, $35,400, and that's why his figure of $354K down payment actually comes about. That is accurate, but it's actually not where I'm going to discuss a bit further with you. My first question reading into this is, he borrowed $100,000 from his mother, correct? Why not work 5-6 more months so that you can build up your capital a bit more? Why so impulsive that you need to place money down, amounts that you don't have? And in a lot of ways, in terms of financial advisory work, we always advocate for clients to practice delayed gratification, correct? Don't buy it now, buy it only when you're ready, and be prudent. This, in many ways, doesn't seem very prudent. And the worrying part is, if you need to borrow $100,000 from your parent, quite likely, if I were to guess correctly, you're going all in on all your capital. You're going to sell all your stocks, you're going to sell all your funds, you're going to sell all your other assets just to funnel in towards this purchase. If you have enough assets, you probably wouldn't borrow already. But let's read on further. He started as a broke university student at the age of 22 and was spurred by events in his personal life. He was motivated to work and pay for his own university fees, and he's also mentioned that he only spends what he needs to and invests the rest of his money as disciplined savings. Let's take a quick pause over here. This story got me to reflect a bit back on my own university days. Back at the point of time, my dad had stroke. When that event happened, I realized I wanted to get to financial freedom earlier. I wanted to not have no time to enjoy retirement and go down with stroke also. Hopefully that doesn't come. And that's why I actually changed my mindset to start working early. And financial services, when you do sales, you are in control of your workflow, you are in control of your destiny. You get rewarded if you put in more hard work. $20,000 per month, that is actually not impossible. I guess a lot of naysayers will say, that can't be true. In any sales job, it's very possible to hit big numbers. The hard part is actually to sustain that. And I actually like the part whereby he was motivated to pay his own school fees. Back when I was a university student, I only did not take an allowance from parents, but my parents actually paid my school fees. The most important part is he knew how to save and invest his surpluses. It is just at this moment, he's intending to go all in into a private property, which leads to the next segment, condo versus HDB. Mr. Daniel Heng right now is single, in a relationship, and considered purchasing a HDB flat as his first home. That will be under the fiancé-fiancée scheme for BTOs and ECs. Right now, his earnings exceed the 14,000 and 16,000 income ceiling for both of these qualifications. He's age 25 only, so not too ready to settle down. I think we can cut him some slack. If he wants to buy a property, then yes, no choice. May have to go to the private segment. And on this part, for BTO and ECs, for self-employed, do know also, it'll be based on your last 6 months of income. If you exceed that ceiling, you are ineligible. You have to either buy a condo or you can buy a HDB resale, which will be more of a home than an investment, which I guess you elaborate down the way. Mr. Daniel Heng wanted to live in the central region as he travels around Singapore. He doesn't mind getting a smaller unit that is within his budget. Quite obviously, it's not within his budget. If not, he wouldn't have needed to borrow $100,000 from his mom. And this place is reviewed as Orchard Sophia, and the one he purchased was a 463 square feet condo unit. So I'm always curious on properties. This is what I've discovered. Orchard Sophia launched in August 2023. TOP indeed is 2027 and it's a very small project with only 78 units. The location of this place is actually up Sophia Road. And if you don't know where it is, let me draw you to its location. Plaza Singapura, I'm sure you know about it. But maybe you're not too familiar with P Center and Park Lane Shopping Mall. Quick story, last time I used to do my tuition in P Center. I don't know whether nowadays they still have a lot of tuition centers there or not. And Sophia Road is this one over here which leads up the hill. Is it near the MRT? Maybe quite, but it seems like it's a place whereby you need a car to get access and to get around. So where it sits is this blue dot over here. And knowing its location, let me analyze this property as an investment. Beside it on the right, you would see 1919. This is also another freehold condo, which is literally right beside it. The views over there, I'll guess, is quite spectacular. And if we were to do a price comparison between 1919, which was completed in 2015, you would realize that there is a premium of at least 500-600 PSF. So any buyer who is interested in the region would naturally compare freehold units between 1919 and Orchard Sophia. A dive into transactions of 1919 would show that there are some profitable sales, but also some unprofitable sales. On the top, we will realize that in September 2022, there's someone who sold a 2-bedroom unit at a loss of $130,000. The person bought at 2,079 PSF and only sold at 1,928. This is $700-800 PSF cheaper than the launch price of Orchard Sophia. Mentioned also in the article in Age25, only 53 units were sold across 3 projects, and one of them is actually Orchard Sophia. The total number of units sold were 19 of the total units of 78, and that means there are 59 units left unsold. For me, I like to read articles on Age25, and that's why I'd like to introduce you to today's sponsor, which is the Age magazine. Inside here, let me show you. There is the Age25 section. And if you're an avid property analyst, you want to know more about properties, always check out this section. And there are gems that show you Singapore property trends. Right now, I have a promo code to offer you, and there are 2 formats. One is the pure digital, and one is the one with magazine, which I just shown to you. At the checkout counter, input my referral code JOSHTS, which stands for The Age Singapore 15, and you will receive 15% off by subscribing for this limited promotion. And once you're a subscriber, you can access premium articles like this. NVIDIA right now is in the limelight, and if you're curious about this article, let me unlock it for you to see. So if you're keen to learn more, use my promo code to subscribe to The Age magazine and be more informed not only in stocks but also in properties, either through the hard copy version or the digital one. And back to the project Orchard Sophia. What we can realize is this project has all its units less than 900 square feet. The biggest one is a 3-bedroom plus 2 bath, only at 840 square feet. For me, you can see that he actually bought one of the 15 1-bedroom and 1-bathroom units that is only 400 plus square feet. I've actually done a previous tutorial which describes also another project which is freehold in town center, has a lot of shoebox units, and it actually didn't do too well. If you haven't seen it, check it out over here in this link, and I'll leave that tutorial for you to follow on towards the end of this. He has explained that buying a HDB flat would mean that the minimum occupancy period MOP would be 10 years. To him, that is an opportunity cost because he feels that he can upgrade only in 10 years' time and it is too long. Maybe at this juncture, many are bullish about the property cycle. For myself, I'm not so. I'm on a contrarian stance. I'm quite worried that we're actually at a property cycle peak. Not that properties will crash to zero, it's just that when we reach a cycle peak, there could be years of underperformance. And the problem is this. Right now, interest rates are between 3 to 5%. If you are locking in on fixed rates, right now on the ground I can hear that there are 3.1, 3.2% fixed rates. But if you're not floating, you're closing in on 5% interest cost already. This is not the same as 10 years ago, whereby interest cost was only 1.5%. You can leverage to the hilt and property will deliver you outperformance. Moving forward, I guess we have to be more cautious and factor in our mortgage budgets a little bit tighter. Reading on further, Mr. Daniel Heng has mentioned that resale flats were out for him because right now he's single and he's not yet at the age of 35. But more importantly, he views this condo as an investment into his own business. I thought that being able to buy a condo will serve as an inspirational visualization for my associates. It illustrates the potential rewards of hard work and ambition. Letting them see the place and see that I can afford it will motivate them to work hard so that they can afford it for themselves. He emphasized to his property agent the need for a home that would fit a swanky image. Let me check what is swanky. Swanky actually means stylish, luxurious, and expensive. It is actually something that I wish as an industry we can downplay a bit. Because a lot of times in our role, we advocate for prudency, we advocate for clients to be able to retire well and make choices that are prudent. And a lot of times, to be qualified to dish out such advice, we have to walk the talk. Having said that, I also understand the idea of investing into image. What he wants is to attract people who are like-minded as him. Just as in Money Hour, which recently announced that they'll be closing down soon. There seems to be many who actually appreciate their social costs and their education costs. And in a lot of ways, it's the image also that they have built in the market. I guess in many ways, I am looking for an image that's closer in that direction than something that is swanky. So as always, if you're an advisor, looking in and resonating with the direction I'm going, I'm also looking to hire client advisors. And I also like to mention on the part whereby he wanted to use it as an aspirational visualization. This place is only TOP in 2027, correct? That is something that we've ascertained already, which means 4 years later. In 4 years, a lot of things can change. I would think that buying a resale condo would allow that aspirational visualization and letting them come to the house right now, rather than seeing it in a showroom and only hearing about the buying story. Which I guess leads to the next chapter, condo as an investment. Mr. Daniel Heng has mentioned that he purchased the condo with the intention of living in it, and he also wanted a property that would not lose money. As I mentioned, I've done the previous case study that even freehold units in prime locations can lose money, especially if you buy it at a peak property cycle. Another possible challenge is the oversupply of shoebox units in the market. My plan is actually to stay for a short while, about 2 years, then I can flip. Once I sell the house, I can use that to buy a nicer property with maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms to have kids, and by then he's more open to resale options. Again, if we count out the timeline, that could be 6 years down, right? Because 2027 plus 2 years of living inside. If you want to flip faster, then that again suggests buying a resale condo in the market right now and living in it allows you to flip a bit faster. Once you pass the 3-year seller stamp duty period, you are free to sell it without extra costs. Which leads me to guess that maybe there's a chance that he might not stay in it also, that if the price is right, he could really sell it before TOP. And this is purely a speculative purchase. He has also reasoned that it will be easier to sell in future since units on lower floors tend to be cheaper and will come out top in searches as buyers tend to search based on price. What he's bought is actually the first floor unit. And from what I understand, first floor units are an acquired taste. You either love it or you don't. The target market pool, if my understanding is correct, is actually quite small. I'm not one who loves the first floor unit, but again, that's personal perspective. His property agent has also mentioned that Daniel is very visionary in his thinking. He's already thinking of an exit strategy before putting the down payment. He knows this is not going to be his last home, it's going to be his first. It's a myth for people to believe that they must buy a HDB as a first property and they must go into it with a spouse. It really depends on what you want. I think this supports my thesis that this could be more of a speculative purchase, not really a home in mind. Yes, it's true that you may not need to buy a HDB as a first property. You can buy a private as a first one. As long as you worked out your sums, you are prudent on it, no problems. In our generation right now, our first home is not going to be our last. This is my second home already, and I'm not that old also. So if you're a young couple going to buy your first home now, also don't think of it as your last home. I think that's very unlikely. Which also means don't pour all your monies to do 100,000 renovation. Because in 3 years time, you get tired of it. 5 years time, you'll be thinking of selling it. And not everybody appreciates 100,000 renovation and will pay you top dollar for it. And there's also a further point. Right now, if he's intending to sell this one and buy a HDB flat, take note again, there's a 15-month cooling period, which confines his options moving forward to only the private space, whether it's resale or a new launch in future. These are my first thoughts when I read this article, and as always, leave constructive comments in the sections below, because when I went around forums, I did see a lot of nasty comments, jealous comments. I think that's uncalled for. It's already purchase ready, and if his income stays strong, actually it's still possible that this is still very affordable for his situation. Thank you for watching right at the very end, and as always, if you'd like to purchase annual subscription for The Age magazine, check out my links below. I have a very unique tie-up with them, and it's something that I'm very happy to introduce to you. Thank you for watching right at the very end. As always, check out this previous tutorial I had that documented on losses. I have actually a full series on it, and I don't know if you've seen that or not. It has good research in it, which I think can help you in your decision making also. Take care as always, and I'll see you there too. Goodbye.